What's up guys, it's Check Close with another CCGaming tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about grenade launchers, and we might get to barrels. We'll see how long grenade launchers take and importing all that stuff. We put out a new video Tuesday and Thursday for this series. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So where we put out, we're set off last, we just made the grenade launcher and a barrel. So let's go ahead and get those imported. So we're going to go ahead and open up Blender and go to our player, and with all of the body and all three turrets, we're just gonna go ahead and export FBX selected objects. I exported at 50 scale the first time, so make sure you do that, and then find the location, and we can just go ahead and export this, and it'll go ahead and update it. So now we have all of our turret meshes in here, so that's good. Alright, so next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is in our player, we're going to add another gun mesh and another ammo array. So we can go ahead and drag our turret mesh 3 in there. And that should be all we have to do for that. In a drop package. Alright, for right now, it's just going to be always adding to the first one. But we want that random between how many there are. So we're going to go random.range. Again, we are in the drop package JavaScript. And our minimum is going to be 0. And our maximum is going to be this array length. So go ahead and copy that .length. And there. It'll randomly add ammo. But the problem with this is it could add a lot of ammo. So we're not actually going to do that. Instead, let's do this. Random equals random dot value. So our random variable is going to be a number between 0 and 1. Alright, so if we don't need this up here, we don't need the ammo variable anymore. We're just going to copy this, put that right there. So we're going to do, if random is less than, say, 0.8, it's going to give you ammo for the first gun, because, well, the first gun is a little less powerful, so that's good. And then you have a 3% chance to, say, get the grenade launcher. Right now, we're not going to worry about unlocks and stuff like that, but else, if it's not less than 0.7, we're going to give the grenade launcher, and we're only going to give, say, 5 to 15 ammo for that one. It's not going to be as much. So now if we go ahead and play this, get some drops. If someone ever drops something. So now I have ammo for my first gun, and I still don't have ammo for my second one. What if we go ahead and add some? Now you can see I can switch. We're getting an error right now because our fire speed is non-existent, and our fire speed is going to be kind of slow. It's a grenade launcher, so we're going to go 0.7 for right now. Alright, so now our grenade launcher obviously is not going to fire a bullet. It's going to fire a grenade. So we're going to go into our player move script. Down here in the firing tab. So this is just checking if we have ammo for the gun. We can fire. And then if we can fire, it's gonna minus ammo, blah blah blah, reset the fire timer, and right here, this fire is only for guns 0 and 1. And now we want to make another gun or fire for 2, because our grenade launcher fire is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to go G fire. And in here we're going to make a simple if statement. If current gun is less than 2, we want it to just do normal fire. And then if, for right now we can just do a simple else right here, because it's the only thing we got. We can always change it later. And now we need a new function called gfire. Alright. And we're just going to go ahead and just copy all of this fire right now. This raycast we don't need, so really we're only going to use the flash point. So right now, if we go ahead and play it, it would just create our flash, which is we want a flash for our grenade launcher. But next we want to instantiate a grenade. So how we are going to do that is if you go ahead and look, in our turret we have our flash point right here. That's going to be a little too high for our grenade launcher. We want it at the same level as the people. And like when we do the raycast, it comes from the center point from right here. So what we're actually going to do is we are going to use we're just going to use the flash positions X and Z, and then we're going to use the height of the main player to do that. So let's go ahead and copy this instantiate, and we are going to instantiate a grenada, if I can spell it right. I don't even know if that's spelled right. We're just going to call this grenade prefab. And our position, we can actually just use flash position just like this, and then our turret transform rotation is fine. But we're going to make our grenade.transform.position.y. We're going to equal. We're going to go ahead and make that equal to transform.position.y. So that's just going to lower it, and that's exactly what we want. So now what we're going to do is make our grenade prefab. So we're going to go ahead and declare that. And we're just going to have all of the movement of the grenade and all of that in its own script and stuff. One thing we're going to want to pass on is we're shooting at the ground, so wherever the user clicks on the ground, it's going to be a little different. Wherever you click, it fires. So we need some information. So in this firing, where does it call firing? Alright, we're gonna have to change this a little bit, baby. No. So every time it's firing, we're gonna go ahead and wherever the raycast of the mouse is, pretty much, right? Yeah. So we need to pass along some information here, and that information is where we're clicking on our ground plane, right here. It's ground plane. Actually, it's kind of really where we're clicking, period. So we're gonna go ahead and do a raycast real quick. And do we have? I'm pretty sure we have a raycast for the camera already set up. Yeah. So we can just go ahead and copy all this. Move this up to our G-fire. Put in front of the grenade. So we have our raycast, we have our look position, and we're just going to make our look position equal our hit point. Simple enough. But then we are going to change the look position. Look at position. We're going to make that equal to our transform.y, our y position. So it's at the same point. So now that we have that, we want to pass a little bit of information along with this grenade. So we're going to go ahead and do grenade.getComponent or transform.getComponent, and we're going to make a script, and we're going to just call it grenade move, and the variable is going to be called explode point, and that is going to equal to look at position. All right. So let's go ahead and make that script, which was called grenade move, I believe. Hopefully I spelled that right. Grenade move. Alright, so now we just need an explode point variable in here. So var explode point, and that's going to be a vector 3. Alright, so if we go ahead and save this, we should have no errors. Good. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up our grenade object, which is going to be game object, and we're just going to use a capsule, because not a capsule, a cylinder. Alright, so let's go ahead and move this and kind of scale it down, because it's way too big. So let's put it 0, 0 over here. Let's change some stuff about this. We're going to throw an empty in here, and we're going to put it exactly in the middle of our cylinder. 0, 0, 0. And then we're going to pull that out, and then we're going to drag the cylinder object into that empty. And we're going to call this our grenade. Right? And then this cylinder, we want to rotate 90 degrees this way. And also we are going to want to shrink this quite a bit. It's kind of big. Let's just see how that looks for right now. Let's go ahead and just throw green onto this, just so it's green, pretty much, and we can see it better. So now that we have the grenade, we can go ahead and apply the grenade move to that, and then we can just plop that and make a prefab of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and create the grenade move. What we want it to do is, we're just going to call a function called move, and in this function, we're going to just have it look at transform that look at explode point, and then we're going to move forward at a rigid body velocity. So rigid body dot velocity equals transform dot forward times speed, and we'll go ahead and declare speed up here, and let's try 3 to start off with. See where that gets us. One thing we need to do is go ahead and attach and if I spelt transform right, we need a rigid body component on this, so let's go ahead and just throw that on real quick. Rigid body. All this is fine. We don't want gravity though. Alright, so now if we go ahead and play this, yeah, it just completely disappeared. Let's go ahead and make our player, let's attach our grenade prefab to it, and make sure that we go ahead and hit apply right here so it attaches the grenade to the rigid body, or to the parent prefab. Alright, so let's go ahead and just give us ammo right away for our grenade launcher. And change guns, and as you can see our little green things going, and they're a little too small for my liking. Let's make them a little bigger. Inside here, we're just gonna go 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So now, yep, alright, that's pretty good. So, yeah, they go exactly where I click, and the speed is just a little too slow. How about? So let's bump this up to say 7. That might be a lot. 6. Go ahead and play that now. So that way the player can't chase up to it. Let's even make it faster. Let's just go ahead and throw it on 10. Alright, so now we want it to explode when it hits either a target or the position that it was calling. So we can get rid of this capsule collider. We don't need that on here. But on our grenade, if we go ahead and pull this in here, we want a collider on this. So let's go ahead and add a collider. Physics. And a box collider will work just fine. Scale it down. And a box is going to work just simply because we're not going to do any physics really, or collisions with this. It's just pretty much a trigger, because we actually are just going to make it a trigger. Alright, so go ahead and apply this. Go and delete that again. So now we're going to make a new function in here. We don't need our function start. So we're going to do on trigger enter, other collider. Alright. So, if we collide with an enemy, which, if you remember, is on our finish tag, so if other.transform.tag equals finish, go ahead and hit indent it. We want to call the explode function. Make a explode function. Alright, and another way we want it to explode is if vector3.distance of capital D. We've done this once before already. Yep. Alright, so transform.position and our explode point. If that is less than, let's just do 0.5. Should be close enough with enough air. We want to call explode. Alright? And simply right now we're just going to destroy our game object. Alright, let's go ahead and just play this real quick. Make sure everything's working correctly. Yep, so just disappearing right away. Just exactly what we want. So if it hits a player, which it does, it'll just disappear. Cool, so now we want it to explode, and how we are going to do that is use a physics, what's it called? Physics, it's like Sophia or something. Let's go ahead and look that up. Capsule, check sphere, I believe. Overlap sphere, it's in the physics tab. Hold on. Sphere cast a sphere against all colliders in the scenes. Right here, yep. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and where is what we want? Alright, so we're going to use this overlap sphere right here. So we can just go ahead and copy this and paste that in. So hit colliders, so everything we hit within our transform.position, and then this radius, we're just going to go ahead and call it blast radius. And let's rename it in the fashion I normally do. So let's go ahead and declare our blast radius, which is going to be equal to, say, 2. Alright? So now we're going to get a collider, we're going to get all the colliders within 2 units of our explosion, and now we want to do some damage on all of those. So how we are going to do that is we're going to do a for loop. So for var I equals 0, I is less than hit colliders.length I plus plus, right? And now we only want to do damage to our enemies. So if our hit.colliders.transform that tag is equal to finish, we want to finish them. Not really. We're going to do so much damage to them. So let's just go ahead and in our player move, we already have that gun damage health thing, so let's just copy that and paste that in. Our hit colliders is going to replace our hit. Transform.get component health, and I believe. Alright, so now we're going to do some damage, and our damage, we want to kind of fall off. So if you're close to the radius, it'll do a lot of damage, and if you're not, it won't do as much damage. So let's go ahead and make blast damage. We can just call it damage. And that's going to be equal to, say, let's do a 3. It's going to be a little more powerful weapon. And then we're going to go up here. We're going to do, see how far away it is. So we're going to do, if you're within 1, it's going to do full damage. So how we can do that is we're going to get the distance from the transform. So we'll just do vector 3 dot distance between hit colliders. Oops. Make sure in here you do I like that. Oops. Just like that. transform dot position and our position, transform dot position, and we're going to divide that by 1. So if it's, say it's 2, oh, just wait, no. 1 divided by that. So that way, if say this is 1 or less than 1, it's going to do more than damage than 1. And if it's say 2, it's only going to do half the damage. Alright? So we can do damage bar damage equals that. But we don't want to do more damage, because if you 1 divided by 0.1 is going to be a lot. So if the damage is greater than 1, we're just going to make it equals 1. Alright? And then we're just going to go ahead and do damage times damage. And it'll run through all these, and it should do all damage to all the people. So let's go ahead and play this out and see if it works. So yeah, let's shoot in a group right there. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful gun. Let's see if it just, yeah, it just kills everyone, doesn't it? Let's lower the damage to like say 1, so we can actually see this damage effect radius kind of happening. Let's get a group of them. Off we go. So you can see they don't all die, but if we go in here and select some of these, we can see that their health is fine. Oh, here we go. So you can see it's kind of lower than others. And even we could probably increase the radius, because I mean 2 is from, say, this point is 3. It's only about this big of a sphere, so let's actually increase that. So in this, we'll just increase the radius to say 3, and increase the damage to like 2. So now if we go ahead and just kind of think about this, our damage is going to be 2, and our range is going to be 1 divided by that. So if it's, let's do 1.5, so it's got a more of an effective blast radius too. Alright, that looks good. Actually, it's really just you're gonna play around with these variables a lot. So now this is kind of anticlimactic when it blows up. I mean it just kind of boom disappears. So let's get an explosion going on, huh? We're gonna use particle effects for this, and yeah. So let's jump into that. And then how we're going to do the explosions, we could play around with the particle systems, but it's a lot easier just to... We're going to go ahead and use pre-made ones in the asset store. So if we go up to this window and click asset store, connecting, you'll have to log in and stuff. It's free, don't worry about it. And they don't spam you, so yeah. And we're just going to go ahead and do explosion in the search bar. Now we're just going to go ahead and do this detonator explosion one. It's free, so, and it works good. I've used it before, I believe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some editing if it doesn't do good. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and hit import. And then hit import. And it's just going to import everything for us. And now it's done, so I can just exit out of that. And it puts it, where does it put it? It puts it right here. This detonator explosion. Alright, so as you can see, we got some prefab examples. Let's just play around with some of these. Let's just kind of see what they look like. So that one's a pretty big bang. Don't know if we really want that. I'm going to play around with these and see what one works the best. Okay. Alright, so it looks like this detonator tiny is going to work pretty good. If we go ahead and play this up real quick. You can see it's got a nice little shockwave too. So let's see how that looks. We can just go ahead and delete that. In our grenade script that I closed because my computer froze. Right before we destroy ourselves, we want to instantiate that. So let's go ahead and just open up player move real quick. Oops. And copy and paste a quick instantiate so you don't gotta write it all again. And that should work. A little laggy. Alright, our flash prefab is going to be tiny explode. We're going to do our position, and our rotation can simply just be our let's do quarter on identity. So right here, quarter on identity. Go ahead and just copy, paste that in, and we're just going to call this boom, tiny explosion. Alright, so let's go ahead and declare our tiny explosion. And that's going to be a transform. Why can I never spell these right? Alright, transform. And then in our grenade, we're just going to go ahead and drag our tiny explode in. So now when we go ahead and play it, and we change weapon, boom! Alright, pretty cool. That's a big shockwave. So let's play around with the tiny explode prefab and get rid of that thing. So let's go ahead and just drag this into the scene. Let's rename this tiny explode, and let's make it. We'll just drag it in here. So now we have our own little prefab here. We don't want to force. We don't want it to apply a force for everyone. And let's just turn off this. The shockwave effect, and let's hit apply, and then drop that into our grenade. So let's see what this gets us. So yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so we can just go ahead and hit apply, delete that. So now we have our tiny explode. Oops, file save. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw our barrels in here. How about let's go ahead and open up Blender. We gotta export our barrel. Go ahead and open up barrel. If it's selected, just hit file, export FBX. Selected objects 50, and then it's just instead of our players, we will just make a new folder called objects and put it in there. Alright, so we'll come back here. So now we got our barrel. We'll zero it out, and let's see how big it is. It's pretty big. It's really big. Let's do like 30. Yeah, like that. Alright, and I'm just gonna quickly check something on our player move script, our fire. Yeah, so whatever we hit that. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this be finish, but we're gonna change the health script a little bit more. So let's go ahead and attach a health script onto our barrel, and let's make this prefab. It doesn't need any of this stuff. It's not a player, and our health is gonna be 0.1. Total health is 0.1. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Point total is going to be 0. And then in our health script, go in here, we're just going to make a new variable called barrel. And this is going to be equal to false always, unless you're a barrel. So if we're not player, where's the else right here? Alright, so if barrel, we want to do all of this, but if you are a barrel, we want you to explode. Right? So, yeah, we're just gonna simply call the explode if it gets hit, and then we're just gonna go in this grenade move, copy our explode function over here in our health, and just paste this in. And we don't need this destroy object because it's gonna destroy it out there. We're gonna need some. We're gonna need the damage and the blast radius variable. So damage equals 3, and blast radius is going to be equal to, what was it? Or was it 3 and then 2? I think it was 3 and 2. And make sure these are floats. Are they floats in here? Go ahead and make sure these are floats in here too. Alright. So now, if you get hit, it's going to explode. And we also need our tiny explode prefab. So our tiny explode transform. Alright, so let's go see if this throws any errors. Looks good. So in our barrel, we are going to make it a barrel. And we're going to drag our tiny explode in here. And then we'll go ahead and hit apply. We can see that it looks like it's going to be 0.5 off the ground, always. And it doesn't matter, we just need a mesh collider on here. So we're going to do component physics mesh collider, and it automatically puts the mesh that we have on it. So if I turn off our render real quick, you can see our mesh collider. And then we're going to make it a trigger. Alright. And just go ahead and apply all that, and then we can just delete the barrel. So now in our player, we're going to have we're going to add another gun. Our gun mesh. Let's see. What should we do for the gun mesh for that? We just won't have it change. How about our fire speed will be something like that. Let's make our fire speed like really high, so you don't accidentally like spam barrels or something. So do like 0.5. And I guess we can just do this and just make it the same as our turret 3 mesh, or turret 1 mesh. So you're not actually going to be using the turret to place barrels, but yeah, we'll do that. So that looks all good. We got all of our functions. So now let's go ahead and make it so we can place barrels down. Right here, we're just going to have to change this else. So if current gun equals 2, we're going to do gfire. Else, we're going to do place barrel. Right? And how we're going to place a barrel is simply we're going to make it place it in the back of the object. So we're going to just instantiate the barrel, which is going to be really easy. So barrel prefab. We're going to make it at barrel pass. And we don't need this, we just need we need that quarter-iron identity. So we can just go ahead and copy that from down here. Alright? And change flash to barrel. So that should be good. And our barrel position is simply, so now we have to go ahead and declare those variables, obviously. Barrel prefab, which is a transform, and our barrel pass, which is a transform. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw those in here. Our barrel is going to be our barrel prefab, and our barrel position, we can just take our flash position, duplicate it, and then move it into our player, actually move it into our body, and rename this barrel pass. And declare that. And then we want to move this around. So let's put it right there. So 0.5 and then just in the back. So we'll just do negative 1.8. See how that goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and file save this and play it. So now if I switch to it and I fire, I'm laying barrels down sideways. But now if I go ahead and shoot a barrel, maybe, no. Something's wrong. Oh, I know why. We're just shooting right over them because they're not standing upright. So in our barrel prefab, we're just gonna go ahead and drag this in. We're going to make it empty, put it where the barrel is, zero it out, pull it out, call that our barrel, and then we can just attach it to that. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. it's sideways. So we just want our x to be negative 90. And we can just do that by doing it in the code. And here we just do barrel dot transform dot Euler angles dot x equals negative 90. So now if we go ahead and play this, go ahead and place them under barrels, and I shoot one. There we go. So now they are blowing up. Felt like they're a little delayed. Well, it's right on time. So that's kind of cool. How it's like a chain reaction. So yeah. So now we got some explosives. Let's play with our barrels and our explosives. Boom! There's a big boom right there. Anything right there is dead. Alright, so that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and change our drop thing so we can actually pick up barrels. Let's just lower this to like 6. And then if it's not this, if random is greater or is still less than, say, 0.9, it's going to give you some grenade launchers, and if it is not that, we will give it some barrels. So there we go. So now we can get barrels and all the ammo and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go check time real quick and see where we're at, and I'll be right back. So it looks like we went like 7 minutes over our time period, but that's fine. Next time we'll work on probably more score and leveling up, kind of getting to the next round. Work on rounds and spawning and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the series. Thanks, guys.